So now that we have, okay, the tags and we can select multiple, let's add the functionality now to update a file, because we're going to plug in all together so we can see that we can actually add the post. So let's say public async. So this is the function that is going to create or upload the file, upload image. This one is going to return or is going to accept a file list, and let's say constant image equals to the files array, to the first element inside the file list array, and we're going to say now constant sorry, not this one, let's say this, that file path that we actually have it there is going to have a different naming. So we're going to rename the image, or well, give it a new name so we can upload the image inside the storage using that new name. So let's say date.now plus a dash plus the actual name. So we're going to concatenate that to the current date. Constant file ref is going to be the new reference. So let's say this that storage that ref, so we need to create a reference of what we're going to upload. So this one is going to be the file path, and now we're going to create the new task that is going to be equals to this that storage that upload, the actual method that is going to upload the file. But this takes two arguments. The first one is the name or the path of the file, that is this file path, and the second is the file itself that is coming from this image. This is a file. Now we're going to handle this that upload percent to be equals to this task, okay, to the task we defined on line 67, percent changes. So this is a method that is coming from this Angular file upload task, that is the task, okay. This will contain the actual percentage of the file as it goes, as it uploads. And what we're going to do now is to subscribe to that. This that upload percent that subscribe, we need to subscribe to this in order to see percent. We can say console.log percent and get the percent. But we actually have a function, because right now this is going to be shown only inside this, but we want to actually display as it goes inside the add post component. Okay, so we have a function that can do that, that can give us that stream. So we are going to say this that set percentage. So remember that we have a new a function that sets a behavior subject, that is this set percentage, that as it goes is going to change the value of the percent into the new percentage, so we can share that to other components. And what we're going to do here is say map, sorry, not map, mat that trunc, that this returns an integer and removes all the decimals. We're going to pass the percent. So now the stream, we're able to connect to this stream using the behavior subject, okay, that is on line 27. Let's add a semicolon there and continue. Since we are using the subscribe, we could use pipe here. Okay. Since this is an observable, sorry, we can use pipe, and we can use take one to close the stream. But we want to close this stream inside our component. Okay, so we're going to close it there, not here. But just to show you that to any observable you can use pipe and send that stream in order to be manipulated as you wish. So we have the percentage, and we're going to say await, since this is an async function, await for the task that snapshot changes. And we actually have something, okay, that turns this into a promise, because we don't want the stream anymore, okay, or we don't want to handle the stream. We want to return this as a promise. And let's say this that download URL that we have defined that, okay, on line 24. We're going to set it to be equals to await file ref, the one we have defined on line 66, that get download URL. We need to download the URL of the file that is being uploaded and use this as a promise to promise. Okay, as I said in the preview, we're going to use promises and RxJs to handle all this. Okay, and this is an observable. You can do whatever you want to observables. Okay, in fact, you could subscribe. This one is taking this. Okay, you could subscribe and do this whatever you want, and we have access to it to promise inside our other snapshots. But since we are able to manipulate all the information using RxJs, we better get used to that and manipulate information using that. So what this is going to do is going to set this download URL to this global property that we have, as I said, in line 24. But this is going to be done after the snapshot changes finishes. So since we want this to finish, okay, and we don't want to subscribe to that, we change this into a promise. So once this is done, okay, then we are going to set the download URL. Okay, but we need to wait for this as a promise, so we can use await. So we have that, and this should handle the file uploads, but we need to create the function that is actually going to create the post. So we can create the post in this video. So let's say public async at post. This one is going to have the post object. Remember that we have an interface, so let's use it here. And files, that is any array. So this one is going to receive the post data and the file. This is what we are going to use inside in here, the add post, that we don't have defined that yet, but we're going to define it. So remember that we have this, and this function on line 62 is going to upload the file. So we're going to do that first. Await upload image. Okay, so we're going to pass files. We need to pass the file list because that's what we are getting here, and from here we're taking only the first file. So after that is done, we're going to say let new post equals, so let's add some camel case here, new post equals to an object. So the information is going to come from the form, okay, inside this post object. So we're going to, we could say constant post object, and we could extract the title, the content, the cover, the file ref, and the in case we had that, but we could add this deconstructing, but you will see that we only have title, content, cover, and tags. Everything else is going to be defined here. That's why we're going to only do the next thing. Say title equals, or it's going to have the value of post object and title. That is the actual thing that is going to come. So this post object is only going to contain these four values: title, content, cover, and tags, the array of tags. And let's say content post object content cover. So the cover is going to be this that download URL that we will have already defined, because this function is going to define it. The file ref, not like that, like this, that is also going to be defined with this that file path. That's why we created that, so we could manage it on another function. And the tags is going to be the post object tags. Okay. Now we can create the actual document. So let's say await this that firestore that collection posts. Let's say posts with a capital P, because that is the name of the collection. Add new post. Okay, so this is how we are going to add the new post inside the post collection. That Firebase is going to create that for us. And let's say this that set percentage, we're going to set the percentage that we have to null, because it will be stuck in 100%. Okay, so we want to get rid of that. And I'm going to just comment this, that is going to be this that router. Well, let's add it. This that router that navigate, and we're going to send the user to the main page. Okay, so this is the actual function that is going to create a new post. So let's actually add it here. So this one has this public add post that is going to be on the submit. It's going to be done on the submit with the value of the form. And this is going to be an async add post, because we're going to await for this that Firebase that add post using form data, that is the object that we're going to send, and this that image. If I can type image. Okay, we don't have this form data. Because we need to add it here and say form data. If I say type form data, because this is form data, this is not going to work because it's expecting it's missing the properties, post, title, and all that. So we need to set it to use the interface, okay? And that should be it. Now, so that should navigate us actually. So let's save this and let's see if that works. So let's say title first post. This is the first post. Choose file. I'm going to move this to my screen just so it doesn't take that you know, amount of the screen. So let's say tech. I missed the submit, so let's add that. Let me just copy the unsubmit. I mean the submit button. Paste it. Input type submit is disabled if the form is not valid. Okay, and the value is submit. So let's save that and okay. So you can see that there's not we don't have a way to send if this is not complete. So let's say again first post. Choose file. Now it opens on my other screen. Let's add this one. Open and let's say tech submit. Okay, storage unauthorized. Okay, forgot to do something. I closed that. Yep. Okay, so let me go to my console, my other screen. So you can see we don't have access. We don't have permission because I missed I forgot to change the permissions. I think on both the database and the storage. Okay. So now here, let's go to database. Authentication, we can implement that later. Did I change the color of this? What? What the I have this one open. This is what I've been telling you, that they are changing things, and sometimes if you are doing these tutorials of you are doing some research or coding, they change some functionality and you're like, what the fuck is going on? But you can see this one, I had it open, but I forgot I had that open. Okay, and you can see the changes inside this part, and this one, this is white, this is blue, and this has this background. This is just this kind of grayish bluish color. They changed this, so it's like, what the hell? So let me close this. So well, that's a funny thing. Okay, they are adding several things. I already write. Okay, that is done. And the storage, no files, rules, and let's save that, and that should be it. So that's a funny thing. They actually changed that. So let's say first post, this is the first image. We have the image already, and let's say submit. We are not displaying anything here, okay? We're going to display that later. But you can see we're getting this percent. because we're not using the math trunk inside the console. That's why we're seeing these decimals. Okay, we got redirected after the 100%, and we should have files, a new file, and a new post. And you can see these tags has the ID of the document. Okay, so we have the reference there. We're going to use that, and yeah, we have that. So let's finish this one. Okay, let me remove that. So let's finish that using the behavior subject. So we have this one done. Let me check the time. 21 minutes. Okay, so it's going to be around 40 minutes maybe max. So let's go here and remember that from our service we are setting this behavior subject. Okay, and we are using the set percentage to actually set the value to that, and we are setting the value inside this in line 72 when we subscribe to the percent, okay, to the task upload. So let's go to the add post component, and here we're going to do something. So we need to define first. I already have defined that. No, I don't have it. So we need to define something first here. Well, let's add it. Public percentage. This is type any, just to get rid of any problem that could pass. This that Firebase service that percentage. So actually this should be a subject. Well, and yeah, so we're going to access Firebase service and get the percentage. What is the percentage? The percentage is the value that is being added to the behavior subject. Okay, so we need this percentage, and to store that here in this public percentage inside the add post component. But now we need to do something else. Since we are passing the stream, we need to actually say this that is inside Firebase service percentage changes. Okay, and this is going to return an observable, okay, behavior subject, and we can subscribe. Sorry, this is not a function. Okay, so this is a behavior subject of type any, and we can actually say subscribe. We can actually go and to make it a promise, but let's subscribe to this, and let's say X, because we don't mind the naming. This that percentage equals X. So we are going to define what is being passed to this percentage, okay, that we have here, and this is the actual percentage of the file as is being uploaded. So we can define here inside the add post a new div. So we're going to change all this. A new div that is this class LDS ripple that we don't have the styling yet. And inside, so all this should be wrapped inside a div. Yep, div we're going to wrap all this inside a div. It's going to have the class percent. Yes, it should be. So let's say ng if percentage that is what we have defined inside the component, else add posts form like this. Okay, just to keep my naming, and this should finish here, I think, because this is the template. So we're going to define the ng template. Sorry, this one is add posts form. We need to follow this name and to set it here, and this is going to be wrapping or form. Yep. So what is going to happen is that if the percentage is set, we are going to display this processing request with the percentage, and if not, we are going to remove this and place the template so we can create the form. So let's say new post. Okay, we have an error. Expected closing. I think I know. Is this one? I think. So this should be there. Yep. So let's say second post. This is the second post. Choose file, and let me choose this one. Let's say live. I don't know. Yeah, live and tech. Yeah. Submit. You can see that it's going to change the form and replace it with this processing request. Let's just wait for that to finish. It's a big image. I should start using smaller images, but you will see how this is working, and yeah, at least we can see the changes better. 100% issue redirections. Okay, and we should be able to see a new one with these two tags, and we should be able to see now another image. That this is not it, it's this one. Okay, so yeah, let's end the video here. We can add posts. You can add new tags like fashion, I don't know, home, anything like that, and it will fetch them and display them there. So I think that's it. We still need to receive the posts here, and to be able to select a post, go to that specific post and edit and delete. But that will we will create that in the next video.